Now let's talk about crafting success measures for your service adoption plan. Defining success criteria is an important step because it helps you to understand what will be the impact of onboarding people to this new technology. Anytime you're going to do service adoption, it's important to get alignment with your key stakeholders and other people across the team about what success looks like. Anytime that you are doing service adoption, it's important to get alignment across your stakeholders and other team members about what success looks like. You establish these KPI benchmarks and understand the knowledge of your user base in advance. You can choose criteria to help you show leadership the impact that Microsoft Teams and other Office 365 workloads are having, not only on the organization, but on individual business processes. We have user surveys that you can use to measure satisfaction and progress against your benchmarks. You can check them out at aka.ms user surveys. For the purposes of our course and in general, we want to divide our adoption outcomes into 4 key categories: organizational, cultural, individual, and tangible. Tangible measures are changes to an individual business process, like a reduction in customer support tickets or increased speed at being able to respond to customer RFPs. Tangible measures over the individual user sentiment equals what we call a change quotient. Change quotients are different for each organization. Your organization may choose to take change quickly, rolling out broad-scale projects. In that kind of an organization, you want a high change quotient. In an organization that has a culture that isn't used to that sort of intense change or wants to drive more incremental change, a lower change quotient is acceptable. The point is that you need to have a change quotient that's in relation to your organization's ability to absorb change. Specific examples of adoption outcomes in each category are shown here. Organizational change can be cultural transformation, employee retention, talent acquisition, or it can be about social engagement. Employees like to feel engaged at work. No one wants to come in and feel like they're just a cog in a wheel. And so this can lead to operational agility. Happier employees are more productive. So organizational outcomes has an impact on the business, as do cultural outcomes. Employee sentiment and the ability of employees to recommend your organization as a great place to work, being able to have two-way dialogues with customers and take customer feedback or do an innovation initiative are all examples of cultural initiatives that can be supported by collaboration and communication technology. Tangible benefits are again things around customer experience impact, cost savings, revenue generation, data security, things that actually go to direct processes that touch your customer. Making sure that they are having a superior experience by speeding the resolution of their issues, getting information to them more quickly, things of this nature. And then lastly, but not least, the individual impact. Are you people using the tools that you desire them to use? What is the morale of your employees? Do they feel productive and engaged? And are they generating ideas? Are they really thinking about how to make your organization better? Innovation doesn't come from a book or a process or even a piece of technology. It comes from people inside your company. Ensure that your success measures are answering these important questions. Is the company achieving target benefits in the business value area? Is the business process being performed as intended? Are you actually driving change in the behavior of people in your organization? Are people happy doing what you've asked them to do? If you're not driving user satisfaction, then you really have to rethink your adoption approach. User satisfaction is measured by things like sentiment, pulse surveys, and conversations at the water cooler. Application usage, are they using that tool? that you've asked them to use in accommodation of changing the process itself? And have you enabled and motivated them? Meaning, do they have awareness of the change? Do they have access to the tools they need to educate themselves about that change? And are they turning that knowledge into actual behavioral change? Change in 3 words there, but very important since that is the topic that we are talking about. Now, what you should be doing is creating a scorecard for this. This is an example scorecard that basically shows you listing the goals, the types of values, and who owns that business value on the left-hand side, and the way that you are going to measure it on the right. You set a baseline for how it is today, and then a target goal. So if you put out a simple survey, 3 or 4 questions to your employees, and do some analysis on that. Questions such as, are you happy with the collaboration tools that we provided? Yes or no. You can get a good baseline very quickly and very easily. Of course, these things can be done with much more complexity, but for the purposes of this course, it's important to know that you can get information quickly. This process, the understanding of the context requires time, but the execution can be very simple and straightforward if you don't complicate it as you're taking an approach. These sorts of thumbnail views of your baselines can be an acceptable way of getting started. And then, of course, you can build complexity into your models as you go.